check with your wife, when can you take call for a week? And he said, I can't, Joe won't let me. I said, you don't understand. I said, we're going on a vacation. I need to know when you can take call. I said, oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to lie on the wall on that one. So he called me back. So I called Joe and I said, block out this week because we're going on vacation. And he said, well, I have a murder trial going, blah, 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 blah. I said, either you block it out or I'm going by myself. Oh. He said, well, I can't because there's nobody else to take call. I said, the captain's taking call. Oh. He said, you're serious, aren't you? And I said, yeah. So he blocked it out and we went on a vacation. I said, I'm going to do this again next year, so get ready.
Kevin from Sacramento. I just want to know what Kathy thought about your afro, and did you use her beautician?
Yes, we did. We used the same beautician. He could do an afro much better than I could. I kind of had the curly afro sort of going, and he had the afro with the mustache going. I thought it was kind of cool.
The best thing about that hairdo is it's totally practical because you get up at 2 in the morning, go to a murder, you take a shower, you shake your head like a dog, and you're ready to go to work. You don't have to comb it. It's a perm. I used to sit in a beauty parlor, all these little old ladies all looking at me like, what's her guy doing? Under my dryer.
And now he's back with the makeup under his dryer.
I have a makeup girl.
Hi, Kathy. This question's for you. My name's Kevin. I'm from Los Angeles. So what was it like being a person from Pennsylvania, making the adjustment out to the Front Range of Colorado back in the old days when you did that? Was there a big adjustment for you?
There was a very big adjustment because in Pennsylvania I had my parents and his parents as backups for babysitting and so on. But when we moved to Colorado, had nobody, didn't know a single soul in Colorado Springs, had 2 little kids. And I always had a car because my dad was a car dealer. So by the time I was 16, I had a piece of junk car. And when I went to work through Duquesne to the nursing school, I had a better car. And then I go to Colorado and we have one car and he has to go to work and I don't have a car and I'm stuck at home and I'm like, oh God. And it was a big adjustment and I was kind of homesick for a while, but we did it. Oh, by the way, there are tons of nurses here, and you got to thank those nurses because they keep you healthy. Stand up, please.
Nurses, all right. They also keep the doctors from killing you. That's another reason I like a nurse.
Okay, over here to your right, we have another question. Hi, Kathy. Phil from Atlanta. This is for you. I hadn't heard before what you thought of the way the actress on the show portrays you. And my wife, having been through those calls in the middle of the night to get called out, she looks awfully calm. You know, is that how you were a lot of times, or do you think you said a little bit more to Joe?
Well, most of the time, they called him out in the middle of the night, because otherwise he was at work. Usually, I am a heavy sleeper. The only thing that woke me up were the kids. They could sneeze and I'd be up. He could roll over top of me to get out of bed and I would stay asleep. Because if you don't, you never get any sleep and I would be working at the hospital like a zombie. So I did fine with the midnight call-outs. There was one time though that we had planned to go somewhere the next day. We were going to send the kids to school and we were going to take the day off because we had a day off and we were going to go up to the mountains and just enjoy ourselves. They called him out in the middle of the night. I knew he was called out. He left. I went back to sleep. I woke up in the morning and he was in bed. And I thought, dang, that was a pretty good nightmare. I thought he was out. So I sent the kids off to work, or to school, and I'm like, and I come gangbusters up to bed, jump on the bed, come on, get up, we're going to the mountains. He said, I just got in bed a half an hour ago. I said, oops. They called you out. He said, the son of a bitch didn't die.
Yeah, you should at least have the courtesy to die. But no, he survived.
I'm in from Dallas, Texas, y'all.
Okay, all y'all.
Kathy, I have a question for you about the time that the door got cracked a little bit and you were pulled a little bit into Gerald's world when you had the case where there was the bar manager who was shot in the bar and you knew her so well and you had to call Kathy and know what was happening. Talk about that a little bit.
Funny you should ask that, because her son-in-law is here on this cruise. Not in the group with us, but we were talking to him last night. Small
They're
world.
having a family reunion on the boat. And he came out and spoke to me. And he said, you don't remember me, do you? I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm Ruby Matney's son-in-law. That was one. And her two brothers were there, the whole family was there. And I was like, oh, God, hello. And they were just on this boat. They weren't on here because they were on here for the cruise, they were just on here. So that disturbed Kathy a great deal, I think.
Ruby was a friend of ours. Ruby's bar was a little neighborhood bar where we could go to, where we didn't get harassed by people. Most people, a lot of people, unless we were in the neighborhood, didn't know about the bar, so we didn't run into any of his clients. So we could go there and we could talk, or we could go there and fight. So we didn't fight in front of the kids. So it was like the neighborhood bar. And knew Ruby very well, knew the guy that shot her, and it was hard. And it was when, in the time of no phones, so when they called in and he said, oh my God, it's Ruby Rose's. And I said, call me. I don't care how you get a phone, call me. I want to know if Ruby's okay. She wasn't.
We have a question straight ahead.
I'm Paula from Eagle River.
Eagle River!
And I just wondered what your favorite part of being a celebrity
Doing these cruises.
I'm Barbara from Kingsburg, California. My husband was in law enforcement for 43 years, so I kind of relate to that. But I always made a point when he was working patrol and he'd go out. If we had a fight that day, I always said, I'm sorry. Even if it was his fault. I just always said, I'm sorry. Because I'm worried about it, being out there thinking about that fight while he was on patrol. Did you ever do things like that? Have that situation?
I never left home, ever, to this day, without saying I love you. Never. Because I might never see her. And there was an occasion when we were, long story very short, I'm crawling in the snow with a gun in my hand, looking for a wounded guy who shot one of my officers. And he's wounded, there's a blood trail, and then he's in the snow. And this mall is playing Christmas music over the speaker. And it's playing Bing Crosby, I'll Be Home for Christmas, while we're crawling. And you think, I hope so. But that's my plan, to be home for Christmas, because it was Christmas Eve. These things, they happen, and I always wanted her to know that I was okay. The press puts it out. Officers have been shot. They're not releasing any names. They love that shit, And I'd find the phone right away, so she could hear my voice, and I would say, "It's not me. It's not me." So she would know. because it would just scare the crap out of her every time it happened. I had a list that I kept in my notebook, still have that list in that notebook. I had to provide the deputy chief of investigations every 30 days with an updated list of every detective's name and his significant other's first name. So that when they went to announce a death, a deputy chief and a captain would have that list and say, "Good evening, Irene," you know, to make it, quote, more personal, unquote. And next to my name, it would say Kathy on that list. And I want to be the one to say, "Kathy, I'm okay," and not some deputy chief saying I wasn't.
We had a thing that I did a thing for the rookie wives one year. They kind of told me I wasn't allowed to do it anymore. But I did a thing for the rookie wives one year when they came in, and I said, "Tell your family, do not call before 9 a.m. and do not call after 10 p.m. unless it is an absolute dire emergency, because you're going to scare yourself to death." The other thing that I said, they didn't want me to come back alive.
Who else has a question? Okay, right over here.
In your professional capacity, Eileen from Iowa, Kathy, in your professional capacity, did you run into Joe?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he told you the story that a lot of the people that got shot and so on came to our hospital because it was a city-owned hospital. So we'd get them, he'd get his clients and also the ones that got shot. Well, he had to know for the ones that got shot whether they were going to die or not. So he would come without a warrant and he'd read charts. And you know, as nurses, with all the HIPAA, you're not allowed to read charts and to do all this neat stuff. But he'd just walk in, he'd be in a suit, he'd sit down, grab the chart, and start reading. Well, he was on my floor one day, and he's sitting there reading the chart, and I said, "What the hell are you doing?" And he said, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm reading the chart." And I said, "You're not allowed to read these charts." I said, "Get out of here." The head nurse didn't know him and said, "You can't talk to that doctor that way." I said, "He's not a doctor, he's a cop, and he's my husband." I ruined a scam for that hospital.
But she didn't work at Penrose or St. Francis, so I can still go there. You know. I went to the coroner, who's an MD, and Dr. Barman at the time, and I said, "What do you look for in a chart to tell you whether this patient's going south or has a leak or?" They said, "Well, here's what you want to look at. You look at the white kind, look at this, look at that, look at that. If these numbers are high, these numbers are low, that's not good. That's an indicator that maybe things aren't working." Okay, fine. You know, so that's what I would use, his training to read those charts. And the nurses would say, "Good morning, doctor." And I'd say, "Good morning." I never said I was a doctor, but I never said I wasn't one either. And they always saw me in the doctor's lounge because the doctor's lounge was the only place you could smoke in the hospital. Because they all smoked, and so did I. So they'd see me coming out of the doctor's lounge in a suit. "Oh, hello, doctor, hello." And I'd go read my charts until she caught me. Run my whole scam.
Because he was too lazy to go to the judge and get a warrant to read the charts.
Don and Betty from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. You actually just spawned this question. Did you ever have ambition to become captain or deputy chief, something like that? How did you end up at lieutenant and staff?
I didn't want to go any further. I wanted to be, I signed up to arrest people, kick doors, and pull guns. I didn't sign up to be a babysitter. And I didn't want to do that. It just wasn't for me. That's the one thing that made Kathy the maddest when I made lieutenant. Because she knew I could be a desk weenie, you know, and send my minions out to do everything. But I never told my men to do anything I wouldn't do. So I was with them on the street, and that made her furious. And you couldn't find a deputy chief with a search warrant or anything like police work. Most of the time, they're busy filling out yellow legal pads and sounding smart, which didn't appeal to me. So that's why. That's why.
Hi, my name is Mary Ellen, I'm from Salt Lake City. Recently, there was a drunk driver that killed a mother and a child, and a police officer was at the hospital trying to get his blood for the BAC as soon as possible, I imagine. And the nurse literally physically prevented him from getting into the room to get the blood. And I wondered, why would she do that? Why would she block the police? Is that a policy?
No, it's not a policy. I have no idea why she would block it. He probably had to speak to whoever, the doctor that was in charge, but he should have been able to get in there to get the blood alcohol. He might not have done the procedure like correctly, like trying to find the doctor, maybe just barreling in there. But I don't know. You don't know what the circumstances are.
Right here in about your 11 o'clock position.
I'm Diane from San Jose, California. And Kathy, how long were you a nurse?
I was a nurse for 38 years, but I was fortunate. I did not have to work full time. I worked part time. He made the money to pay the rent, and I made the fun money. Now, because of that, I never owned a dress for I don't know how long. If I got something new, it was a new pair of scrubs. But that didn't bother me. But, I decided long ago that I wanted to be able to raise the kids and not just work and provide them stuff. And so if they turned out to be jerks, it wasn't going to be because one of us wasn't around. So I worked part-time and he worked full-time. Then when we got closer to everybody going to college, then I worked almost full-time.
Over here at about your 1 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Jill from Washington State. I was curious, now that you have fame and I presume more money than you did in times where people...
Oh, yeah.
Has it changed my relationship with long-time friends? Is there jealousies or police officers who haven't gotten the same fame, and has it changed your relationship with each other? Thanks.
There's been a little bit of that. It's human nature, there is a little bit of that. I had a cop in Colorado Springs that said, I don't like that show. I said, well, that's why they give you a remote. You can turn it off, you can change the channel. By the way, how's your show going? Oh, that's right, you don't have one, do you?
But all of our friends have stayed friends because some of them, we were down, they were up. We were up, they were down, All of our friends have really stayed friends. We've made new friends since we moved to Suffolk, Virginia. But basically, it's remained the same in between he and I. They'll say, oh, you can buy anything you want, but I still don't buy everything I want. Habits of a lifetime. You don't do that. But it was really cool because we could afford it. We took our kids and we went to Ireland for 2 weeks, which we wouldn't have been able to afford before, but now we could.
That part was good. I've acquired some people that claim to be my relative that I wasn't aware of. You know what I mean? But that happens. Some people have approached us to be our friend who are not our friend. That happens too. It's unlimited, but I'm the same guy I've always been. There's no difference in me. I'm the same, and so is she. And the spending habits we had all our life was to spend nothing. And so now we're in a position to do more than that, and we just give it to our kids. Here, change your life. Here's some money. Go do something cool. It doesn't mean it. If money was important to me, I would have been a policeman. It's not important to me. Some people are driven by it. It's success or suicide. They got to have it. They got to make $1 million. I've never been that guy. Never have. Came from a working family. My family were coal miners and wage earners. So am I. I'm still a wage earner. Pretty good wages, but I'm still a wage earner.
Another question here about your 1 o'clock position.
Hi, Kathy. I enjoyed the San Jose, California. I was wondering if Joe was out in the field when you decided it was time to go to the hospital.
My babies were both born before he became a policeman.
By the way, trivia question for the next cruise. What years was Joe Kenda a police officer? 73, right? To 96, very good. So now you've already got a gimme for the next trivia contest in the next year.
Well, if you really specific, it was March 6, 1973 to September 1, 1996.
The newspaper.
So, I'm Sue from Colorado, and I just have a follow-up for Aunt Irvin ratted you out at the airport when we were going back on the last cruise. She's mentioned that you had told Joe when the money started coming in, since we're talking about money, that you wanted a pair of emerald earrings. Did you get those earrings?
Oh, boy.
Let me clarify what she said about those earrings. That you wanted the earrings that were big enough that you would land in your cereal bowl. They were so heavy.
He actually gave me a pair of earrings for our 25th anniversary. They were emeralds. So then when, let's see, this is season 4. on this finger instead.
And she has a number of other items, including a emerald bracelet with 108 diamonds around 3 large Colombian emeralds. And a brooch that's an emerald slide that has diamonds up the center, emeralds on the side.
Joe, they're gonna mud me.
So yeah, she's pretty well soaked in emeralds. The first time I got a paycheck from Discovery, I looked at it and I said, "Is this in U.S. dollars?" Oh yeah, it's not lira or pesos or anything. No, it's really. Yeah, really. So.
Okay, we have a question over here. All right, folks, this is going to have to be our last question because the bingo bunnies or the barbarians of the gate are do bingo. But just a quick announcement before this last question over here. Joe Kenda is going to be in the Princess Theater, which is on deck 7, and that was the New Zealand pronunciation, by the way. Decks 6 and 7 forward at 4:30. So if you want to see him again, he will be there presenting the winner of the Heist on the High Seas contest, which he was the main person who put it together. So the next thing after this, go to the Princess Theater all the way forward at 4:30. Try to get there early to get a good seat. But we do have one more question.
Wait a minute, at 7:30,
Did I say that?
if you brought a Halloween costume,
Oh, yes.
we're having a picture taken.
Right.
I don't know where we're getting it
At the
taken.
Wheelhouse Bar on deck 7.
At the Wheelhouse Bar on deck
Deck
7
7.
at 7:30.
Right. Okay, so we have two more things coming up. So we have one more question, and then we have to make way for the bingo buddies.
Good afternoon, my name is Casey from Indianapolis, and I was wondering, Joe was telling us more yesterday after he retired that he was sitting at breakfast after you looked over and said hello to him, that he was the guy that you originally married. What were the differences in his personality between starting with the police force and by the time he retired?
I think all policemen have an edge to their personality. They don't tell their wives things. They're more quiet sometimes. They have a little bit of a temper at times, you know, because things haven't gone good at work. They don't like to socialize as much because all those other people, they're nasty people. That he lost his venom. And it took a while, but he did. He lost his venom and came back down. He had a sense of humor. He was more willing to go out and go to shopping or do whatever I wanted to do, just, you know, to normal everyday life.
I'll say one thing and then we'll let everybody go. Season 1 of the show, I just, you know, I was still full of fun.
Oh, you don't like people.
And a fan came up to me, a woman at the mall, and she said, I saw your show. I saw the first show. It was so good. And I said, take your hand out of your purse. And she looked at me and she said, what? I said, take your hand out of your purse.
And I said, Joe, she's just a fan.
This woman turned white, and I'm sorry, man. Because what's going to come out of that person, huh? I mean, you know, that's what your instinct tells you. You know? And that was true the first time I had makeup on. This girl wanted to touch my face, and it's an immediate, you know, don't touch me. You know, you're a policeman. Don't do that. I'll punch your license. You know, and so it took a while to get over that. You know, to where she could touch me. She'd always say, "I'm going to touch you with a brush now." Okay, man,
but we go back to what Brian said. Beware of your surroundings. Beware of the people that are around you. You still have to be. You just have to be aware of your surroundings and the people around you and what they're doing and what they're not doing.
Okay, so on that note, I'd like to ask one more person that I'd like to publicly thank that made this all possible, Carl Marino. Carl actually, for the last 2 years, he has this Facebook group that he's constantly asking or actually answering questions. No, he does not wear eyeliner. No, those are not real cigarettes. No, the episode we're filming right now is not going to be on tonight. They have a little post-productions to do. So I'd like to thank these 3 people, Kathy, Kenda, Joe Kenda, and Carl Marino. That's why we're all here. And thank all of you again for being here. All right, thank you, and we'll see you at 4:30 in the theater and at 7:30 in the Wheelhouse Bar on deck 7.
Now, Jim, it's